Hello and welcome to the Rhubarb Room, where today we're making brownies. But not just any brownies. We're going to be making Alvin's 100-hour brownies, and not just that either. So I kind of saw Alvin's 100-hour brownies and I thought, well, is it really worth it? Is it worth the extra time and effort to make these brownies compared to your normal brownie? And so I thought it wouldn't just be good enough to make these brownies and then just try them on your own, because you kind of forget what a good brownie tastes like really. And so I thought we would have a comparison in this video. So to have kind of like a benchmark, a scale of what a good brownie should be, I've gone with Benjamin Babish's Melty Brownies for this one. So we're going to see which one's better, but also then see obviously if the 100-hour version, which I'm expecting to be a little bit better just because there's a few extra steps in there, there's a few things that you might do differently to a normal brownie. Yeah, we'll just see if it's basically worth taking that extra time, because it does take a little while to make. 100 hours is no joke when you want a brownie. So let's jump in. I'll go through how I made these and then we'll give them a taste test. But before I do, if you are new to the channel and you do like this sort of stuff, then maybe do consider subscribing and hitting a notification bell to be notified of when new videos like this come out. But without further ado, let's get into it. So first we're going to start off with the 100-hour brownies, just because they do take so long. So to start off, we got some butter in a pan, and with this we're making brown butter, which I've actually never made before. So this was a nice little interesting challenge. I won't lie, I did burn the first set, but that's because with the next part, with the brown butter, you want to take it to where it's brown. But in the next part, Alvin adds espresso in there, and I thought that espresso might be a little bit grainy, so I was a little bit hesitant to add that in. So actually, the first time I went for instant coffee, which actually burnt instantly. So don't do that if you're thinking about that. It has to be espresso powder. I'm just letting you know, so if you do try to make these, you don't make the same mistake I did. So on this second batch that you're seeing, I did go for espresso powder, and as you can see, I did put more espresso powder than Alvin did originally, but that's just because in the next step where we're adding these ice cubes, Alvin does use coffee ice cubes, whereas I'm only using normal ice cubes, just water. That's why I ended up putting more espresso initially than Alvin did. So basically we went in with the ice cubes. As you can see, it all foams up and we mix it very fast to stop it from bubbling over. And basically this just cools down the butter so it doesn't burn. It doesn't go past the browning stage, and yeah, it doesn't burn. So after that, it's time for us to pour it out, set it aside, and let's start the brownie mix. So we went in with some eggs, and as you can see, almost instantly I got eggshells in my mix. So what you can do to get this out is a nice little tip, is just use the eggshell, because they sort of attract each other for some reason, and it's just an easier way to get the eggshells out rather than using your fingers or going in with a spoon. But after that we went in with some sugar, and then we beat it. We beat this sugar and egg because we want some air, we want some volume in this egg and sugar mixture in our brownie batter. So this you might not do in normal brownies, you'll probably just combine it and then that's about it. But this, yeah, we really went and beat this one. So after we'd done that, we added some cocoa powder, some coffee and some salt. Now you might notice in this, the coffee, I did actually use instant coffee here. Again, that's just because from the first part I was a bit worried that the graininess or grittiness of the espresso powder might show up in the final product. So I kind of wimped out a bit there. Probably should have added the espresso powder again, but I used instant coffee, which, yeah, it was espresso instant coffee, so it'll be close enough. But then we went in with our browned butter and espresso powder, followed by some lovely, luscious, melted dark chocolate, which was about 80%. After another mix there, we went in with some flour. This was just some plain flour, all-purpose flour. And then we went in with some chopped chocolate. So for this, the chopped chocolate that I used was 70% dark, and then also some milk chocolate, the same as Alvin used in his video. Then we go for the final stir, and you may have noticed, or you may not have, that I did forget to add some vanilla. So I did add some vanilla in the end, but I just didn't actually record it. So then after we stirred that out, we put it into our mould. And here comes the part which is doubly indulgent. I mean, this is already an indulgent brownie, but then we just top it with a hell of a lot of chocolate on top. For this one, I went for a Ritter Sport chocolate, which was 74%, and this had a really nice fruity flavour to it. So if you can get that, I would recommend it because yeah, it's really nice chocolate. But yeah, after that it goes into the fridge, and it goes into the fridge for a long time. 3 days. It was 3 days in the fridge. So that's how long you have to wait initially, just to let the batter rest and to basically let everything mellow out. After the 3 days, took it out from the fridge, put it in the oven, cooked that, and then after it was cooked, quickly sealed it with tin foil and put it back in the freezer for 20 minutes, and then took it out of the freezer, put it back in the fridge for one more day, and then today is the day where I can finally take it out and have a slice. So I'm really looking forward to that part, but before we do, we have to go make Binging with Babish's brownies, and for that, earlier today, we went for sugar, melted butter, coffee, vanilla, eggs, plus egg yolk, and we mixed all that together, all together in one. So a different method going here for Binging with Babish. I'd say this is probably more how you would classically make normal brownies if you're going to make them quickly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the two techniques sort of compare. So the main difference here is I'd say that you don't have the brown butter. Binging with Babish didn't seem to use espresso powder, so he used instant coffee, so that's what I went for as well. And interestingly, he does add the 2 extra egg yolks, I'm guessing to make it a bit more richer and more fudgy. So after all that was mixed out, we went for some cocoa powder, oil, which was sunflower oil in my case, and then we went for some chopped chocolate, the same as Alvin. So in Binging with Babish's, the cocoa powder in this was a lot higher than the one in Alvin's, and this is probably because there's no actually like melted chocolate in this one, so it's just bringing up the chocolate levels in a different way, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in maybe the texture or the taste come the taste test. But after that we went in with some flour, and this time it wasn't all-purpose flour, this was actually bread flour, to give it a more fudgy kind of gluteny development phase, I guess. So the more you mix this, the more kind of fudgy it would get. And then very interestingly, I went in with some baking powder. I was quite surprised at the baking powder in the recipe, just because I thought that kind of takes away from the whole fudgy nature of it, giving it that lift. But yeah, we'll see if it does anything at the end. And then we went for the pour into our dish and then the bake straight away. So again, this is a lot quicker of a recipe than the 100 hour, obviously. And just to tell you, I do really appreciate Alvin putting his measurements in grams, just because trying to convert the Binging with Babish ones was a little bit difficult, and I will admit I did have to make these ones twice, just because the first batch, it turned out a little bit too cakey. So the version you saw was the first batch, and the amount of flour in it I did actually dial back for the second batch. So this time it looks like it's come out how it was meant to. But the first version did come out cakey, and I probably added a bit too much baking powder. So yeah, it was a good job I had enough chocolate to do a second batch for the Binging with Babish's ones. But yeah, now that both brownies are complete, the house smells amazing. We've got brownies for days. Can't really eat them all on my own, but let's go grab a piece of each and try them. So here we have the 2 brownies. Smells pretty damn good in here, gotta say. Warm these both up. The 100 hour brownie one looks like it is literally about to slide off this board. It is so melty. It's probably because of all the butter in there. The Binging with Babish one is more firm. It's probably just as fudgy, but not as melty as the 100 hour one. Okay then, so we'll start with our kind of baseline, I'm gonna guess. So yeah, we'll go with the Binging with Babish one first. This is probably more like what you would expect. And yeah, it is very fudgy. Very fudgy. The chocolate inside it is pretty melty as well, which is pretty nice to see. I do have some milk next to me as well, so we can cleanse the palate. And yeah, but let's, without further ado, let's try the Binging with Babish brownie. That's good. That is very good. That is very fudgy, melty. It's a really nice brownie. It's one that you would love to have in the amount of time that it took. It's probably took like maybe 15 minutes to actually make, and then I think I baked it for 20 minutes, so yeah, it really doesn't take too long at all. I would suggest probably waiting an hour before you actually take it out of the pan. I wanted to take this out while it was still a bit warm, so it'd be similar to the 100-hour one. But yeah, that is a solid brownie. Let's just have some milk. Okay, let us now get on to the 100-hour brownie and actually see if it is worth waiting for such a long time and doing this method. Oh my, it is so soft and gooey. It is something else. That is, I'll show you this because this is pretty impressive. So as you hopefully could see, it's pretty gooey and melty. So yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, Alvin. That's good. That is very good. That is indulgent. You couldn't have too much of that. That is very, very rich. I'm literally drooling, it's so rich. It's like, damn. That is something else. It works. It works very well. The straight away the brown butter in there, you can taste it. I know that doesn't sound great, but it's got like this nuttiness to it that then mixes in with the dark chocolate. You get that kind of hit of the dark, and then the little pieces of the milk chocolate just help balance it all out and everything. And you do taste coffee. It is somewhat coffee forward, but it's not like overpowering the chocolate. It does complement it and just boosts the chocolatiness of it. It's really, really good. Is it worth it? Yes. Just make it. Please make it. It is fantastic. Does it beat the Binging with Babish one? Yes, it just does. I mean, the Binging with Babish one is good. It's great if you want a quick brownie. But this 100-hour one is good. It's not just for show. The 100 hours, it does something. I would recommend you making it if you were curious. I don't think you will regret it, and plus it'll probably last quite a long time since it is so rich. Cut it into smaller pieces, and yeah, just enjoy. This would be amazing, like absolutely amazing, with some ice cream on it. Just having an ice cream melt on top of it. Oh, that would be so good. But that is good. That is so good. I was worried about the grittiness of the espresso, like I said, and it is there a little bit, but it actually complements it, which I'm really surprised about. But yeah, like I said, just go make it. It's completely worth it. Completely worth it. In this battle, Alvin won, and Babish's was still good, but Alvin wins hands down. But yeah, if you did like this video, maybe do consider leaving a like. I would greatly appreciate it. It would greatly help me out and the channel. But from me, that's all. So goodbye and ciao ciao. This is actually really damn good, like bloody hell, compared to this other one. Okay, just a quick one. Have them cold. The 100-hour brownies, eat them cold. They're even better. Even better. I put them back in the fridge after I was done with this video. Then I cut them into little cubes, and just as little cubes like that big. Pop one in your mouth cold. It is fantastic. Even better than when it's warmed up. Just try it that way as well. Okay, see you later.